Hi everyone, it's Lavinia. Welcome to Inktober 2025. I'm participating in this challenge for this month, and these are Zentangles, and I'm adding them to this calendar that I got from a kit from Minutes of Zen. Also adding the Zentangles to this compilation page, as well as adding them to the bijou tile. So this is for October 18th, and this particular Zentangle is called Middleton. And so I've started to draw out here in my journal, and this was just a variation that I did by adding a little bit more of designs. I just wanted to see what that would look like. And the tangle is pretty much just this one area. You can have this center diagonal go this way, or that way. And you can also make more than one. So you can have them all pointing in the same direction in different directions. So it's up to you however you'd like to do that. Again, I just wanted to add in a little bit of inking, and I just wanted to see what it looked like by adding a couple more tangulations or variations. So that's what I wrote that there for variation. So let's go ahead, break this down, and start with the calendar. I decided for the calendar, I'm going to use this Papermate Inkjoy. I showed an unboxing or a haul that I did at, got it at Target. So a set of 18 different pens. And so for this one, I thought I would go ahead and use this, looks like a turquoise light blue color. Because on my calendar, I do like to have embellish it with color. So let's go ahead and get started. I think since it's such a tiny area, I'm just going to do the one, just one of these. So let's see. The first thing is just having that box, and I do have some pencils here, so I think I may just go ahead and pencil in a box since this is more of a rectangle, and I do want to give it a little bit of space between those lines. Okay, so just a box like that, and we can do this in pencil. So you're just going to select which corner. So if you're only doing one, again, just select which corner. Maybe I will, let's go ahead and start with this corner. So I'm just drawing a square, and that will go from, touch each side there. And then within that square, I'm drawing a smaller square. So again, you have your box, then a larger box in one corner, and then within that corner, that smaller box. And then from here, you're just going to go from corner to corner. So from this larger box, just come straight down to the corner there. It almost looks like a pyramid. And then once you have that, you are going to aura this larger box. So I'm just going to turn this around because it'll just be easier for me. So I'm starting just about here, and I'm going to come on down. So giving it that aura. I'm not coming to the edge. I am now going to aura this line, and I'm going to stop at this diagonal line. That's why you have this diagonal first. So just come on down, give it that aura, and stop when you get to that diagonal line. Again, it's just easier for me if I turn my page, and then you're going to come up or come down, whichever is easier. This, I think I'm going to make just a little bit. Just want it to be just a little bit closer to that outside edge. And so I'm coming up to here, and then from here, we are going to connect to that larger box. Like that. So you have that right now. And maybe what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll start inking that in so you can see it. So again, we started with this outside area. And then we connected this larger square. Within that larger square, we put that smaller square. Then we did the diagonal. So from point to point, this diagonal. And then we did the aura. All right, and then the next step is to draw just some parallel lines. So if you're going one way horizontally, then you'll go vertically the opposite way. So let's say we want to do these as the vertical. If they're not absolutely straight, that's fine with me. If you wanted to use a ruler, I think that kind of defeats the point of the Zentangle. I don't know if I've seen anyone use a ruler. Sometimes I've seen people use a coin just to, or a button to get the round shape, but I think it's just natural and organic to, just to do it without the ruler. And then we're going to come down this way. Okay, and so we have that. And I think I forgot something. Sorry, folks, but there was supposed to be a line coming from here, from this point to that point. So on the bijou tile, we'll go ahead and we'll fix that. And then from this point down here. That's why I was wondering if something seemed a little bit off. But you know what? We can color that in. Let's go ahead. There are no mistakes in Zentangle. We will fix that by coloring it in. These are some pip pens. And what if we color that in like that? But that is Middleton. So let's go ahead and draw it on the bijou tile. So now that we know what to look for. But again, a tangulation is something different. So, if you don't want to put that other line in there, you don't actually have to. So we have our square, but let's go ahead and give it that outline. Okay, just like that. And I'm using the Micron PN pen. And let's go ahead and put that first square in this corner. And then we'll put that smaller square. Okay, and then let's go ahead and just ink this all in. I think it'll be easier to see. Okay, like that. And then we are just coming from corner to this corner here. Just draw yourself a straight line. Okay, and now we're going to do that aura. So we'll start in one area, come on down. Okay. All right, and this was the step I had missed. So from this little point area, we're going to come down to this point. So you're not coming down to this corner, you're coming to this corner. So just come on down like that. And then from here, again, from this point down to this point here. A little bit crooked, but that's okay. All right, and then from here, you'll draw your lines. And so we'll compare this to the one that I put on the calendar. And so if you did vertical one way, just go horizontal the other way. Okay, and this is Middleton. I think I'm going to ink this in though. I don't use graphite or color on my Zentangle tiles. I prefer to just leave them with just regular ink. But this again is where you can add designs if you wanted to. You know, maybe orbs or teardrop shapes, or I did here triangles, and I inked in some of the triangles. I also inked in one side of, it's like a skyscraper is what it looks like to me. But that is it. So let's go ahead and see about on this compilation page where I'd like to add it. I don't know if since it's a square, if maybe I should just put it in a corner and do it that way. That might just be the best option, I think. So just going to draw a line and a line here to give me that square. However, I think I'm going to put 4 of them in there. So what I'm going to do is then just divide this square into 4 sections. Might be a little bit tiny, but that's okay. And let's see. I think because this is the way I had this going, it almost looks like a 5. I could do it the opposite, where maybe I have the middle, so like sort of like flip it, put these here. Maybe we can try that and see what it looks like. So rather than at the corners, the outside corners, let's see what it looks like with the inside corners. I will test it out so that you can then see if you like that. I think I'm going to do it in pencil first. So large box, small box inside, diagonal, aura, and then let's aura this and this. And when I do the ink, I'll fix that, but then it would be, I just want to see if I like it. This to here and this to here. And then here would be the same thing with the box like that. diagonal. There's that aura. And then this aura line here. And then this would come here, and that would come here. I'm trying to see if I like that, but let's go ahead and give it a try. Why not? So I'm just going to take my PN pen here. And actually, I could probably just go across. Maybe I will do that here too. Like that. And then we have our little squares inside. Okay, and then we have our diagonal. So from here, right there, this one comes down that way. And this would come here. And this would come here. And then we have the aura. I think I'm going to come just a little bit further down. Maybe I will put this middle line going through this way. I'm going to ink this middle line because I think that will just help me with the aura. Like that, and then this would probably just continue that way. That. Let's do this aura. So we're not coming to this middle line, we're just making that aura there. So we have all those like that, and now we're going to do those diagonal lines from, oh, actually I forgot this aura line right here. So from this aura line, point to that there. And the same thing here. To put that aura line. Okay, so that's a little bit different. I actually like that. Get my light on there. So a very different look than this one here. And then we're just going to add those lines. I'm wondering if I should have them go this way and then these here the same. Or if I should have these go this way and then this. That might be too, I can try that in my journal at a later time to see how that looks. But I think what I'm going to do is just keep these the same. And then these will come down. And then this one too. And then this one will come down. I probably shouldn't rush. I feel like I'm rushing this one, but and then this one we will go this way. So again, a lot of different variations you can try with this one. Again, you can have them go opposite ways. I like that. I didn't think I was going to, but I do. I'm going to ink these in. I could add that line going across and cutting through, but I think I like it like that. And let me just go ahead, and I think I'm going to erase the lines that are currently in here. I suppose I could have used, I'm going to come back with graphite anyway, but I may not want it where those lines were. So let me just show you up close. I like that. Okay, so now it's a matter of where I want to put the graphite. And I think I would like these to stand out. So I am going to put the graphite on the outside edge. We'll see what that looks like. I've got my tortillon. I'm just pushing that into the paper. I may give it just a little bit darker here in these areas. And if you want to give a little bit of shadow on one of those, you can, like on one side, you can, or if it's as if the light is hitting it from the top, you can do that too. I'm just going to add a little bit of graphite here on these outside edges. Oops. And that is my 4B that I'm using. Just a little bit of a circular motion. But I think if that's too much, you can always erase it. But I think I'm going to stop here. So this is Middleton. This is, again, one way, just depending wherever you put your square. Again, you can do it this way. You can have them all facing the same way. I think this is a fun Zentangle. Again, it's another one which I didn't know if I was going to like it or not. And then this is the one drawn on the bijou tile. And then this is the one on the calendar. Again, I had forgotten to add those diagonal lines, but it turned out fine when I colored it in anyway. So that is it for this video. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Take care. I will see you in the next one. Bye.